Yo, we up in the ring, breaking news with a jab. Ringside Ramble got the stories you grab. Video clips, front row, you won't miss the brawl. Big hits, KOs, we got it all.
Welcome back to Ringside Ramble. It's me, Niall, here bringing you all the latest news, views, and breakdowns from around the world of professional boxing. In this video, I'm going to be giving my reaction to the news that a deal is being finalised for Dereck Chisora, the exciting veteran, to face Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, on February 8th, 2025 in Manchester, England. Yeah, Chisora out again after a career highlight win back in July over Joyce and Miller. Of course, out in August after a win against a draw, I should say, against Ruiz, where a lot of people thought he should win. So yeah, I'll be giving my thoughts on this fight and kind of the futures of both men, really. Yeah. So before we get into today's video, please don't forget, I'd really appreciate it if you like the content to subscribe to the YouTube channel at Ringside Ramble. Give the video a like, follow us over on X. Always great content to engage with, and I really appreciate all the support I can get and helping this channel grow. So yeah, like, subscribe, follow on X, all that good stuff, and thanks a lot. So yeah, let's get into today's video. Dereck Chisora versus Jarrell Miller, February 8th in Manchester. It seems like it's going down. It, on paper, it should be a good fight. Two exciting styles. They're gonna come. They're gonna meet in the middle of the ring. No man is gonna want to take a backward step here, but it breaks my heart a little bit every time I see Dereck Chisora fight, especially every time I see Dereck Chisora fight a top class opponent, a world class opponent. Not even world class, like maybe fringe world level, like Jarrell Miller is. Dereck Chisora is 40 years old. He's taken a hellacious amount of punishment in his career. He's suffered numerous losses. He's taken a lot of damage, and he still continues to fight. Retirement doesn't seem to be in the kind of near in his thought process at all, retiring or calling it a day, which is kind of worrying to see. 40 years old after the damage he's taken, even though he came off, of course, probably a career best win last time out back in July against Joe Joyce, where he won a decision. He upset the odds to win the decision and likely possibly end the career of Joe Joyce, which was a crazy night. Dereck Chisora looked out on his feet. He looked like he could hardly stand up that night. It was a classic and got edged the decision. Dropping Joyce in the process would seem to make all the difference. And he defeated Joe Joyce for what was a career best win after a long career that took him to challenge him for world titles, winning European, British, Commonwealth titles. It took until 40 years of age to register a career best win against Joyce against the odds. So absolute credit to him. He dug in, he somehow stayed on his feet, to kind of dig that one out of fire and beat Joyce in a huge upset. So that was a big win. But still, I said it back in July, and I'll say it again now. I think Dereck Chisora should have walked away after that. I know it's unlikely that he would have, even if he'd lost that fight, he probably wouldn't have walked away, but he should have walked away on that. That would have been a great place to stop, registering that career best victory over Joe Joyce and saying, yeah, right off into the sunset after that, after a really entertaining and quality career, even though he never got to a world title, but it was always going to be unlikely that he was going to retire after that. So he's back again, and it's Jarrell Miller in February in Manchester. Of course, Miller, a very controversial character like Dereck Chisora in his own right. He's had, it's for another day, the controversies over the drug bans and things like that. But he's back now. He suffered that defeat against Daniel Dubois in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He got stopped by Daniel Dubois in what was seen as at the time Dubois' biggest test of his career. Dubois pulled the stoppage out to beat Jarrell Miller. We've seen now since then there's no shame in that. Dubois beating Filip Hrgovic, becoming the IBF heavyweight champion of the world and absolutely destroying Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium. So Dubois is on the form of his life. There's no shame at all in losing to Daniel Dubois. But in his next fight, back in August, another Riyadh season card, but in California this time, he fought Andy Ruiz, former world heavyweight champion, unified world heavyweight champion, in a really entertaining fight. And a lot of people thought that Jarrell Miller deserved the nod. I did myself. I think Jarrell Miller done enough to win that fight personally. It was declared a draw. I thought he was in much better shape than he was against Dubois, which was great to see. He was much improved from that night in Riyadh against Daniel Dubois when he faced Andy Ruiz. I thought it was a really good performance. He set a relentless pace for a man of his size. You know, he was known to do that at his kind of best days before the ban, you know, set a high tempo, throw a lot of punches, you know, relentless pace and engine and durability. And of course, big puncher. He's a huge unit of a man, you know, nearly 300 pounds. I believe he weighed in at 285 pounds for the Andy Ruiz fight or around that kind of mark. So, if the Jarrell Miller that turned up against Andy Ruiz turns up against Dereck Chisora, which I think he will, I think it's going to be a horrible night for Dereck Chisora. I think he's going to take a bad beating and get stopped. I really do. I think, as I mentioned, the fight against Joe Joyce, Dereck Chisora could hardly stand for large portions of that fight. You know, it says a lot more about how poor Joe Joyce was that he couldn't kind of finish Dereck Chisora off, and he didn't have that killer instinct or that speed or that pace to finish him off. Of course, Dereck Chisora is durable as they come, but the state he was in that fight, Joe Joyce should have been like a shark that smelled blood in the water, and he should have had him finish off. Most top heavyweights would have, to be honest. And I think Jarrell Miller, if he smells blood like that, he's going to finish him. I think, as I mentioned, he sets too much of a relentless pace. He's too aggressive. He's too big. He's too quick. He's too powerful for Dereck Chisora at this stage of his career. And I think Dereck Chisora is going to take a bad beating. And to be honest with you, I think Dereck Chisora needs saving from himself now at this stage of his career. I mentioned retirement doesn't seem to be in sight for him. In his opinion, win, lose or draw, he's lost plenty. Still hasn't kind of entertained the idea of retiring. So I think promoters are going to have blood on their hands soon enough. They keep letting Dereck Chisora fight. He needs saving from himself. You can't force somebody to retire, you know, that doesn't want to, but you can stop them from fighting. You can stop booking fights. And I think Dereck Chisora needs to be saved from himself here. And as I said, I think Jarrell Miller will beat him up badly and stop him. I really do. He's just too big, too strong, too relentless. I think he's going to knock out Dereck Chisora in the mid rounds. I think Dereck Chisora nowadays has about 2 rounds of going gung ho in him, you know, of leaving it all on the line before he's seriously blowing in the corner, struggling to stand, struggling to throw shots. And I think it's going to be a long night for Dereck Chisora. A long but early night, should I say, in terms of getting stopped around midway by Jarrell Miller. Yeah, it's going to be a dangerous beating. I think Dereck Chisora in his prime versus Jarrell Miller would have been a hell of a fight, a hell of an entertaining fight. And I think he'd maybe edge Dereck Chisora there in his prime, but he's past his prime now, far past his prime. And yeah, I think he needs to be saved from himself, but it's going to be a bad night at the office on February 8th, 2025 in Manchester. And there's one thing that the most entertaining thing about this fight is going to be the press conferences. Of course, too charismatic, too controversial, too divisive characters. The press conferences are going to probably be more entertaining than the fight itself. So that should be interesting to see the buzz generated when these two get face to face at the at media days and press conferences and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Jarrell Miller beats Dereck Chisora up pretty badly and stops him mid rounds. If it went past 6, I'd be surprised. So yeah, that's just my quick reaction to the news that Dereck Chisora and Jarrell Miller has been finalised to take place on February 8th in Manchester, England, to start off 2025 with a bang. I think Jarrell Miller is just too much for Dereck Chisora at this stage. If it's the Jarrell Miller that turned up against Ruiz, so let us know what you think in the comments. Are you excited for this? You know, Dereck Chisora has a big fan base. Are you a Del Boy fan? Are you excited to see him back? How do you see this one going? Will he pull off another big win against Jarrell Miller to set up even more bigger fights down the line in 2025? Let us know what you think in the comments. And as always, as I said at the start of the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, share the video, follow us over on X, all that good stuff. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, speak again and take care.